Hello everyone, welcome to Tathastu ICS. A very good evening to all of you. My name is Pooja Sharma and today I am going to take your DNA session. So this is the front page of your Hindu newspaper. Very tragic news is there that Dharmendra is no more. And another important news for UPSC is also on your front page, which is related to the Special Intensive Review by Election Commission. So we are going to cover this news. Actually, this news is going to tell us a lot about the data which we have extracted from this spatial intensive revision. This is the QR code from where you can access the PDF files of these DNA sessions. So let's see which important news we are going to cover today. So these are the 5 news which we are going to cover today. Among them, some news are very important. First news is related to SIR. It is not very important news, but this news covers the outcome of the SIR in general. So if you want to know about this news, then you need to know what is the Special Intensive Revision by Election Commission of India. So you need to have that understanding. Other than that, this particular news is talking about the Goa tops in digitization of the SIR form. So what is the meaning of the digitization? It means when the SIR form were distributed and then they were collected, obviously they were in the form of papers, then we digitalized them. So the Kerala was the state which actually topped in digitalization of that particular data, and there are few states which actually could not do much of the digitization, right? So that we are going to understand. Second news which we are going to cover today is related to INS Mahi. So INS Mahi is a new submarine destroyer in our country. Okay, ये aircraft, ये जो हमारा submarine destroyer है, okay. Obviously, is it a submarine destroyer? It is going to identify the submarine and it is going to destroy it. So it is going to remain mostly on the coast part. ठीक है, ये mostly कहाँ रहेगा? Coast पे ही रहेगा. Third, we are going to discuss about the stance of the Kerala government when it comes to the presence of the tiger in the state. The Kerala government in another different issue was saying that we need that particular area because the tigers are living in that area, but in another stance when there was some different issue, the Kerala government was saying that we don't have the permanent presence of the tigers in our state, hence they needed some kind of recession. But obviously that could not happen. Now we are going to understand what all has happened, and this such kind of news actually tell us the willpower of the states to preserve these biodiversity in our country. Then we are going to understand another article on your editorial page, Missing Ubuntu. This article is in the light of the G20 which is happening in the Johannesburg. This is for the first time that G20 is happening in the southern part of the hemisphere. So this particular G20 Johannesburg meeting is actually highlighting the importance of the global south in our country. And now we are going to understand, and one another point is that in this particular meeting, the G20 meeting, the President of America was not there. So it shows some sort of unwillingness of the President of America or in general America to attend G20, and the next year G20 is going to happen in USA only. So we need to be aware about these difference in the stance of these countries when it comes to the cooperation related to G20. G20 is actually an organization of the big economies of the world, where they are going to discuss about the economic cooperation, but that is not the only thing, but that is the major point of discussion. Other than that, they can talk about the climate change also, they can talk about the other areas, they can talk about the peace in the world, and all these issues are also going to be discussed in such G20 meetings. But again, the absence of the US president shows some sort of the missing sense of Ubuntu. What is the meaning of Ubuntu? Ubuntu is actually an African philosophy, which means I am because we are, that I am here, I am surviving because we all are here. So it shows the dependence and the cooperation of the each and every country when it comes to such kind of global scenario. Fifth news which we are going to cover today, it a very important news, that Ethiopia's Haile Gubi volcano has erupted, and when it has erupted in Ethiopia, its smoke or its ash is coming towards the east to the Indian side. So because of that, we are actually cancelling our air flights, right? Because we already had this tragic incidents of the Air India recently. So we are actually being very careful about it. So we are going to understand how this particular smoke from this volcano is going to impact the aircraft engine. So let's start our discussion, and we are going to do each and every news one by one. The first is related to the SIR form. The Goa tops in digitalization of the SIR forms, and the Kerala lags. Kerala is a kind of a state who was, who always remained top in everything. For the first time, you are seeing that Kerala is lagging behind in something. But let's see what is the scenario here. So, Election Commission of India has said that the 47% of the enumeration form का मतलब होता है the forms. What kind of forms they are? They are the forms in which general information of a particular citizen or a household can be noted down. So first there was the distribution of this form. Okay, so it was a exercise which is being done in the 12 states. So first the distribution was there. After that the collection of these forms were there, and after that we were doing to make this whole data digital. देखो डेटा को डिजिटल करना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है इफ़ वी वांट टू इंश्योर सम सॉर्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए हमें डिजिटल जो है डेटा को करना ज़रूरी है, बिकॉज इफ़ वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू डू दैट देयर कैन बी सम सॉर्ट ऑफ removal of the data or maybe the false addition of the data. So we need to make our data digital. Now the news is about that 47% of the enumeration form in the spatial intensive revision of the electoral have been digitalized, with 99% of the form are collected. So distribution, jo for example if we have distributed 100 forms in somewhere, we have collected 99 form, and out of which 47 are digitalized. So this is actually, but again this is the data for the whole India. Now according to the article or the news, the Goa is the Goa lead in the digitalization. So all India level पे percentage है that almost 50%, 47%, almost 50% digitalization is there. But in Goa there is a digitalization of almost 76% of these forms. And in the Rajasthan there is digitalization of 72% of the form. But the states such as Kerala and the Uttar Pradesh are lagging behind. They are only 23 and the 26% of these collected forms are being digitalized. So what does it show? देखो ये क्या शो करता है ये पर्टिकुलर डेटा हमें. देखो ये डेटा हमें यूपीएससी के लिए याद रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. यूपीएससी इज ऑब्वियसली नॉट गोइंग टू आस्क यू दैट केरला टॉप्ड इन डिजिटलाइजेशन ऑफ द एसआईआर फॉर्म or the which particular state was topping in that. So this is not the meaning of the news. The meaning of the news is that this spatial intensive revision in general was so important. Few states are taking it seriously and few states are not taking it seriously. So news is about that. Then the enumeration form, it was the distribution, collection and the uploading of form. It actually started on the 4th of November and it is going to be there till your December 4, and the final outcome or the draft roll are going to be published on December 9. So this was mostly all about our news. Other than that, there is another few highlight is there. It is related to the booth level officer. Actually, booth level officer, when we did the survey, they are saying that and they are complaining about that we have short deadlines, we have technological challenges also, and it is so confusing to follow all this particular process. So the booth level officers are actually the one who are working at the ground level, and this spatial intensive revision, we did not have that much of time and we are doing it in a hasty manner. So this is the major debate related to SIR anyway, that we didn't give much time to this process. We have done it so quickly. That's why there are few states who have so much worry about this, that why such hasty process is going on. There can be something fishy about it, but obviously we have read so many articles that SIR in general is going to be beneficial for our country. Other than that, we need to know that which are these 12 states and region where we are doing SIR. Your Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Andaman Nicobar along with Lakshadweep. Obviously this SIR is going to be conducted in the other states also. These states are not going to be the only one. SIR is very important. UPSC can easily ask one question about SIR. You need to have a basic idea, for example, which organization is conducting it. So you should be knowing that it is the Election Commission of India which is conducted. What kind of forms are there, what kind of information they were asking from the citizens. So we need to know about all those things. You can find these data from the site of the Election Commission of India also. Now let's come to our second news, which is about the sea beacon. So in your newspaper today on the front page only this image is there. So look at this image. This is actually an image of INS Mahi. Okay? INS means Indian Naval Ship INS Mahi. So let's talk about INS Mahi. What is it? It is actually ASW. What is the meaning of ASW? It is anti-submarine warfare. So it is not a submarine at all. Look at this image. This is not a submarine at all. Yes, submarine थोड़ा ना है. It is a kind of a ship. Submarine तो almost क्या होती है, बहुत cylindrical type की होती है, underwater रहती है. But the main, it is kind of a ship only, but the main purpose of this ship is to identify the submarine. क्योंकि submarine को identify करना अपने आप में difficult होता है, क्योंकि उसके उनके अंदर mostly stealth technology होती है. Stealth technology का मतलब होता है कि छुपना, ठीक है? ऐसे डिफेंस इक्विपमेंट और डिफेंस वॉरफेयर विच दे कैन they can hide themselves so that they can reach the territory of the enemy. So it is an anti-submarine warfare and it is going to operate in the shallow water craft. It means it is going to remain on the coastal part only to hunt submarines and operate close to the coast. So these are the two important points which you need to remember for UPSC's point of view. Other than that also, this is kind of the first ship which is actually going to be built in India, and 80% of the material which is being used in this particular ship is indigenous. Okay? Indigenous है ये, इसमें 80% material जो है वो इंडिया का ही लगा है, जो इंडिया में ही बना है. It means most of the spare parts are from India only. Other than that, it's about 78 meter long. Sometimes UPSC can ask such kind of facts, so you should be knowing that it can displace 1100 tons of water. But again, this I really doubt UPSC can ask, but this fact UPSC can easily ask, and can do a top speed of 25 knots. This can also UPSC ask. Okay? UPSC can ask you these two data: 78 meter long, and the top speed can be 25 knots. It is equipped with torpedoes, anti-submarine rockets, advanced sonar and the surveillance system. Okay? So all these are also the equipment. Obviously ship itself is not going to help us out. This ship is not for the trade purpose or the transportation purpose. This ship is a warfare ship. Obviously we need to have these equipments, okay, such kind of equipments on this ship so that it can actually identify a stealth submarine and we can destroy it. Other than that, what is the major significance? It is the first of the 8th such ship. It means in the series of INS Mahi, there are other ships are also going to be. So it is the first one. Other than that, it is named after the town of Mahi. Mahi is there on the Malabar coast. And the crest has Urumi. Okay, what is Urumi? So this is the crest, or you can say that is the sign. So you can see that here you can find a sword kind of symbol. ठीक है, एक sword, एक तलवार की तरह का आपको symbol मिलेगा, but ये जो तलवार है बहुत flexible तलवार है. ठीक है, look at this. So this is the performance of Kalaripayattu. Okay, and here you can see that this is a flexible sword they are being used in this particular martial art, and this Kalaripayattu का जो उर्मी है, that exactly is being used on the logo of this particular ship. So that is also important, and there is a motto, that is the Silent Hunter. Okay, this is written. Silent Hunter is the motto. Why Silent Hunter? It is, first of all, it is a hunter, so it is going to hunt the submarine. So what all UPSC can ask from this particular news? First of all, INS Mahi is what it is? It is an anti-submarine warfare. So this first line is the most important. क्या है? Anti-submarine It is an anti-submarine warfare है. This is first point you need to understand. What is the purpose? It is going to remain close to the coast. This point is also important. 80% indigenous segments are there. This is a very basic thing. You should be remembering that it is going to be equipped with, so obviously sonar, tornado, anti-submarine rocket we need to have on that. So, and this data also you can remember. Other than that, you should be knowing what is the meaning of Urumi and how Urumi is a flexible sword which is related to Kalaripayattu. Okay? Kalaripayattu is a martial art of Kerala. That also you need to remember. And silent hunters, the motto also you can remember. Basically, all the facts are there in this. Now let's come to our next news, which is very interesting news. So actually what has happened, the Goa has given a contradictory statement about tigers. Okay? तो गोवा ने, अच्छा this is Goa, you can look at it. ये गोवा है. गोवा में हमारे वेस्टर्न घाट जाते हैं पूरे, ठीक है. So this is your western घाट, and here you can see that this is the Bandipur, very important tiger reserve is there. So these are the tiger reserve, Nagarhole, Madhumala. So you can see that this is the area which is there in the Goa is actually a part of the tiger corridors. Tiger corridor की तरह भी मत समझो, ये सारा continuous forest area है. यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक continuous forest area है यहाँ पे, और यहाँ पे बहुत dense forest है. So that whenever you are going to look at the national park or the tiger reserve, you will see that in this area you will find plenty of the national park, tiger reserve, wildlife sanctuary, many such protected area you can find in this particular area only, and Goa is not very far away from it. So that particular stretch is also going through Goa, or we can say that the tiger corridor, in general corridor, the green corridor is there in this part of our country. Okay, so this is the point. First you need to understand from this point of view. Other than that, let's understand what kind of statement is given by Goa. So Goa has said that one more thing you need to remember, in this part of India there is a presence of tigers. ठीक है, ये जितने भी हमारे फॉरेस्ट एरिया हैं सब में हमें कुछ ना कुछ टाइगर की पॉपुलेशन मिलती है, राइट. So now the Goa has given a contradictory statement, ठीक है, about tigers, about the population of tigers in its own state, telling a Supreme Court appointed committee recently, in front of a Supreme Court appointed committee, Goa has said that the tigers do not reside permanently in the state. कि केरला स्टेट में गोवा स्टेट में टाइगर परमानेंटली रेजाइड नहीं करते हैं. इट मीन्स दे कम हेयर, वो आ जाते हैं, क्योंकि बिल्कुल कर्नाटक और महाराष्ट्र से बाउंड्री मिल रही है ना केरला की, गोवा की. So they can come here, they can visit here, and sometimes they go back to other states. They are not residing in the area or the wildlife sanctuary which are there in the Goa permanently. This is being said by Goa. ठीक है, ऐसा गोवा ने बोला. But there was another issue. It was a river dispute issue. There is a river, Mahde. So when there was this river dispute tribunal, in front of that tribunal, Goa has said that they have a resident tiger population connected to a major tiger habitat in the Kerala. At that point of time, Goa said that they have the tigers, but now in front of the Supreme Court appointed committee, the Goa is saying that they don't have tiger in their territory. Tigers are coming and going, they are just the part of the tiger corridor. The tiger exactly are not residing in this particular area. Okay? But when there was an issue related to the dispute of a river, that is Mahadei river, okay? Mahadei river. So at that point of time, the Goa gave a different statement. Goa at that point of time said that no, okay, we need to have the water of this river because the surrounding wildlife sanctuary actually have tigers in it. So on the basis of tiger, they needed more water. तो जो water sharing का issue था, उसमें गोवा बोल रहा है कि हमारे पास टाइगर है, इसलिए हमें वाटर ज़्यादा मिलना चाहिए. और जब ये बात आई कि वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी को तुम टाइगर रिजर्व में डिक्लेयर कर दो, तब गोवा ने बोला कि नहीं, हमारे पास तो टाइगर ही नहीं है, तो हम वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी को वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी रहने देंगे, उसको हम टाइगर रिजर्व नहीं बनाएंगे. तो मेजर इशू इज देयर. लेट्स लुक एट द इशू अगेन. इशू क्या है? The debate intensified that when the Bombay High Court ordered Goa to declare Mahadei Sanctuary and the nearby areas at tiger reserve based on the National Tiger Conservation Authority's recommendation. ठीक है, let's look at this wildlife sanctuary. So this is your wildlife sanctuary, महादेव wildlife sanctuary. ये पूरी हमारी महादेव वाइल्ड सेंचुरी, ये भगवान महावीर वाइल्ड सेंचुरी है मोलम में, और यहीं से हमारी रिवर जा रही है, कौन सी, महादेई रिवर. अच्छा, इसी महादेई रिवर पे ही सारा क्या है, हमारा डिस्प्यूट भी है. So earlier when the dispute was there, at that point of time Goa said in this particular area the tiger are residing, so please give more water to this particular area. But now when the National Tiger Conservation Authority told Goa to declare this particular sanctuary as a tiger reserve, कि उसको वाइल्ड सेंचुरी से टाइगर रिजर्व बना दो. अच्छा, ऐसा गोवा, तो गोवा उसको अपोज करना चाहता. दैट्स वाई गोवा राइट नाउ इज सेइंग दैट दे डोंट हैव अ टाइगर एट ऑल, सो व्हाई टू मेक दिस पर्टिकुलर वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी ए टाइगर रिजर्व. बट अच्छा, गोवा क्यों नहीं चाहता है कि वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी को टाइगर रिजर्व बना देना? देखो, वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी भी प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया है, लेकिन उसमें जो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस होती हैं वो कम होती है. सो वी हैव वेरी लेस रिस्ट्रिक्शन व्हेन महादेई इज गोइंग टू बिकम दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया इज द वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी. If we are going to give the status of the tiger reserve to this particular area, then the more restriction can be followed in this particular part. What kind of restriction? It means you can't do intensive agriculture, you cannot have big resorts in this particular area. When it is a wildlife sanctuary, there can be construction of multiple resorts and all these. Hence the Goa right now is saying that for its tourism point of view, to earn more money so that the Goa can have multiple resort in this area. That's why Goa is saying that as there is no tiger, so we should not declare this particular area as a tiger reserve. Okay, so Goa challenged this order in the Supreme Court, arguing that if you need to have a tiger reserve, you need at least 800 to 1000 square kilometer area. We don't have that, but we have 745 square kilometer area of the protected. Okay, now again, declaring more land as reserve would affect 1 lakh people, okay, living in those villages, which can actually lead to social unrest. Other than that, only 3 tigers were recorded in 2018 camera traps with no proof of the resident breeding tigers. So these are the arguments which are given by the Goa. These arguments can be true, but when it comes to the water sharing, when it comes to the dispute regarding the water sharing of the Mahadevi river, this dispute is with Maharashtra and the Karnataka state. At that point of time, Goa had a different stance. So this is all about this news. What is important for us? For us, it is important that where is Mahadevi river in general, where is this wildlife sanctuary, and where is Bhagwan Mahavir wildlife sanctuary, what is the status of tiger in our country in general. Other than that, now the Supreme Court, obviously after listening to such kind of argument, Supreme Court has said that you need to have a central empowered committee which is going to look into this whole issue. Other than that, ये issue जो begin होता है, this issue has started in 2011 when the center repeatedly asked Goa to notify the region as a tiger reserve, but 4 tigers were poisoned in 2021. Hence, this particular petition was filed in September. The Supreme Court also stopped resort approvals in the proposed reserve area until the final decision. The major issue is the construction of the resorts in the Mahadevi Wildlife Sanctuary. So that is actually the big issue why Goa is changing its stance. So this is actually a debate between the development and the conservation. What is more important? Conservation is more important or development is more important? If there is a forest area, what should we do? Should we reserve that forest area for the animals, or we should have the big resorts so that people can come here and they can actually enjoy beauty? So the debate is between that. The forests are for the human or the forests are for the animal. Now let's come to our next news, which is the title of the news is Missing Ubuntu. Okay, what is the meaning of this Ubuntu? अच्छा, Ubuntu का meaning, Ubuntu is actually an African philosophy. It's a kind of a African philosophy. That means if I am existing only because we all are here. तो इसका basic meaning ये है, it is related to the cooperation in general. That this world, this humanity, I am human only because we all are human. if everyone is going to behave in an animalistic manner, I will also not going to remain human. तो जो human है वो human इसलिए है क्योंकि सब human है. अगर सब human नहीं रहेंगे, only 1% of the people cannot remain human in this world. So this is the basic philosophy. Why this philosophy is relevant to the G20 summit now? Look, this G20 summit is happening in Johannesburg, right? So in Johannesburg it is happening, it is the first time it is happening in the global south, so it is obviously going to reflect the spirit of the global south in general. So but the problem is that US have boycotted it. So President Trump did not attend this particular meeting, and the next year this meeting is going to be happening in America. Okay, so America is going to assume the presidency in 2020. So this actually show that the absence of the US president in this particular G20 summit, which never happened previously. ऐसा कभी past में नहीं हुआ. This is for the first time we are witnessing such kind of situation that US president ने G20 meeting को attend नहीं किया. It can actually show that the unwillingness of the US president to attend G20 meeting. अच्छा, अफ्रीकन यूनियन 2023 में, ठीक है, अफ्रीकन यूनियन जो AU है वो G20 का पार्ट बन गया था. Like European Union is also part of G20. Similarly, African Union is also part of G20, and it happened. The participation happened when G20 meeting, G20 summit was happening in Delhi in 2023. तो दिल्ली में जब G20 summit होती है उस टाइम पे African Union जो है वो G20 का पार्ट बन जाती है. Hence this time the summit was happening in Johannesburg now, but because there was not, the US president was not present, so hence the missing Ubuntu, hence the title of the article is missing Ubuntu. It means Ubuntu का मतलब ये लगा लो कि cooperation among different countries. If there is no cooperation, if the cooperation is missing, we are not going to lead this world in a human manner, right? So they actually, G20 is an organization which was there to discuss about the economical issue, but economical issues are not the only issues which are being discussed in G20. G20 these days is discussing all kind of issues, such as recently they discussed about the conflicts which is going on in the world, rising inequality, economic uncertainty, and the call for peace in Sudan. Sudan is there in Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, Palestine, as well as in Ukraine. So these are the 4 areas where conflict is going on all over the world, and they actually talked about that these conflicts should end. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also actually proposed 6 India-led initiatives, including training a million African, traditional knowledge repository, global health response team, satellite data sharing, and a critical mineral initiative, out of which these 2 are very important. Okay, a traditional knowledge repository and a critical mineral initiative. अच्छा, critical mineral initiative हम क्यों लेना चाहते हैं? देखो, जो अफ्रीका है ना, अफ्रीका में we have so many minerals. अफ्रीका में we have critical minerals also. Critical minerals क्या होते हैं? Critical minerals होते हैं which are actually very important for the present day technology. जैसे सिलिकॉन हो गया, ठीक है, लिथियम हो गया. हमारे ई-व्हीकल्स में जो छोटे छोटे मेटल या मटेरियल लगेंगे, दे ऑल बिलोंग टू द क्रिटिकल मिनरल कैटेगरी. Rare earth metals are also in the category of the critical minerals, but we don't have those resources. Majorly we are dependent on China, but now we know that China, if we are going to be overly dependent on a particular country for the import of a particular mineral or any material or the thing which is very important for the economy of your country, so you need to diversify your import. वही import diversification क्यों हमें करना चाहिए? ताकि हम एक कंट्री पे डिपेंडेंट ना रहें. एक कंट्री पे डिपेंड रहेंगे, if we are going to have conflict with that country, obviously that country is going to dominate us, or they will say that we are not going to export that critical mineral or that particular product to you. Okay, hence we need to have import diversification. That's why we are looking at other areas also. So China को छोड़ के we are looking at the Africa as well. देखो, बाकी कंट्री, बाकी वर्ल्ड के साथ ये इशू है, क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स अगर है भी तो वी डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रोसेसिंग एंड द माइनिंग टेक्निक्स. उसको डेवलप करने में ऑलरेडी 20 to 30 years लगेंगे. वी आर ऑल्सो डेवलपिंग दैट. We did not have that kind of foresight at that point of time. China had it, and China established that kind of industry, but we did not. Now that's why we are focusing on Africa on that. Hence India's initiative related to the critical minerals, right? So this is all about this news. These I have already made you understand why the title missing. Let's come to the next news, which is related to the Ethiopia's Haile Gubbi volcano eruption. So let's understand the background here. The volcano called Haile Gubbi in Ethiopia erupted on Sunday, day before yesterday. Volcanic eruption releases huge clouds of volcanic ash to the atmosphere. The ash can travel thousands of kilometers depending on the winds. The ash is dangerous for the aircraft because it contains a tiny glass-like particles. तो ये volcano से जो smoke निकल रहा है, and that smoke is coming towards India, okay? India, North India की तरफ आ रहा है, not the south one. North west में enter करेगा. It entered India through Rajasthan. Obviously, it came from Pakistan and then Rajasthan, and it is hovering over Delhi also. Now they are saying that it is going to go towards China. But obviously this smoke is here on the northern part of our country right now, right? And why it is dangerous for the aircraft? Aircraft के लिए क्यों dangerous है? क्योंकि ये जो ash है ना, this ash contain tiny glass particles, ठीक है? बहुत सारे glass particles होते हैं. देखो जो volcano है हमारा, volcano से जो ash निकलती है ना, उस ash में हर तरह के product होते हैं. Obviously you will have SO2, NO2, almost all kind of gases can emerge from that particular, on any volcano in general, and there can be the emergence of different kind of minerals. So this smoke contains so many tiny glass particles, and these glass particles can actually enter into the engine of the aircraft, and they can disrupt the system of the engine of an aircraft, and it can lead to some kind of crash. To avoid that kind of condition, obviously we are already taking the precautions, and we have cancelled so many of the flights which was going to the west from India. After passing over Yemen and Oman, the ash could enter India through the western Rajasthan. Actually it has entered India, ठीक है? अगर आज की न्यूज़ देखोगे तो इंडिया में already enter हो चुका है, and expected to move northeast overnight. Okay, so these North Indian states are going to be affected by it. And in Delhi there is already pollution, and this ash is going to add to the pollution of the Delhi air. So this was all about today's discussion. If you have any doubt regarding today's session, you can actually write in your. Okay, thank you so much. Have a very good evening again.